Hi, everyone. Welcome to Enjoy English. I'm Steven.
I'm Minnie.
Today's date is August 22nd, and we're looking at pages 46 to 47 under Spotlight on Taiwan.
那我们今天8月22号在46到47页，然后我们今天的主题是深入台湾。
The title today is Ghost Month. Back from the dead.
鬼月生存指南，保你平平有安安。
So this is something that a lot of people who aren't in either Taiwan or in places where there's a big Chinese community, they might not be familiar with this.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think a lot of my Western friends or friends from the States, if you told them that we have a whole month that's called Ghost Month, they're like, what is that? You know? And a lot of people in Western countries are prone to be not as superstitious as people in Asian countries. So that is a word that I'm about to say right now. This is a superstitious time in Taiwan. And when you're superstitious, this is just describing you as someone who believes in supernatural things like ghosts or vampires.
所以这句话整个句子翻译是说，禁忌诸多的鬼月，但是老师刚刚讲那个 superstitious 这个字其实就是迷信。
Yes. All right, let's get started.
Ghost Month, Back from the Dead. The 7th month of the lunar calendar is called Ghost Month in Chinese culture. During this time, many Taoists and Buddhists believe that the gates separating the living from the dead are opened, and ghosts are able to wander freely in our world. While the exact dates change from year to year, Ghost Month usually begins in mid-August and ends in mid-September. With so many spirits wandering around, Ghost Month is considered a dangerous time. People tend to be extra careful and take many precautions to prevent misfortune from falling upon them. For example, people are advised not to buy a new car or move to a new place during Ghost Month. It is believed that ghosts may haunt the car or house and cause problems. For similar reasons, most couples choose not to get married during this time of year. In addition to postponing important life events, many people avoid participating in potentially dangerous activities. People are told not to go swimming or approach open water because ghosts may try to drown them. Similarly, people often stay away from mountainous areas at night to prevent running into ghosts. For those worried about spirits, placing Asiatic wormwood or sandalwood around the house is believed to keep any unwelcome ghosts away.
The 7th month of the lunar calendar is called Ghost Month in Chinese culture.
农历7月在华人文化中被称为鬼月。
So why is it called the lunar calendar? When we see the word luna, L-U-N-A, it usually has to do something with the moon. Okay, actually in Spanish, when you say the word luna. It means moon. So why is it called a lunar calendar? Because it's a calendar based on moon phases and cycles rather than the Earth's orbit around the sun.
所以为什么我们会说农历叫做 lunar calendar？ 原因是因为农历它本身就是依照新月、满月这种月亮的圆缺去写的一个农历嘛，就是阴历。所以它就是它的字根就是老师刚刚有讲 luna 那个字，也代表月亮的意思。
I just always found it interesting.
Very
that
interesting.
In Chinese, we call it 农历. It has nothing to do with the moon per se, but in English, it has more to do with the moon.
但其实也有点关系，因为农历应该跟农人、农耕相关。
Yeah, they would have to look at the moon to kind of decide exactly. But I'm saying the word itself is not in it. Yeah. Okay. During this time, Many Taoists and Buddhists believe that the gates separating the living from the dead are opened, and ghosts are able to wander freely in our world.
在这段期间，许多道教跟佛教的信徒相信，分隔生者跟亡魂的门会被打开，那鬼魂呢就能够自由自在在我们的世界中游走。
First thing I want to bring about to your attention is Taoists and Buddhists, and also in the previous sentence we have ghost month and Chinese. These words are all capitalized in writing. Obviously, when you're speaking, you can't, show the capitalization of words.
Yes.
But just know when you're writing that things like ghost month is capitalized because it's the name of the month. It's kind of like a holiday
专有
almost.
名词。
Yeah, like you would also capitalize things like New Year's or Christmas or Valentine's Day. Chinese, that is something based off of a country, so you have to capitalize that as well. So you would also capitalize Taoist and Buddhist because they are names of religions, okay?
Yeah,
Of
宗教。
people of that religion. So many Taoists or many Buddhists are people that believe in Buddhism and Taoism. Okay?
对，所以姓名啊、节庆啊、人名啊、地名啊，或者是像宗教名称、专有名词，我们的英文在写的时候，第一个字都会大写。
And I like how this sentence starts out, during this time. So that's a really good way to transition into the sentence, trying to show like what do people do during this ghost month, okay? So many Taoists and Buddhists believe that the gates separating the living from the dead are opened. Let's look at that grammar. Separating A from B. Okay, that's something that we will use in terms of grammar to show that these two things are being separated.
所以 separate 这个字本身就是分开、分隔，或者是分居，也是用 separate。那通常我们要把 A 跟 B 分隔，我们中间的介系词会用 from。
And ghosts are able to wander freely in our world. All right, so that verb itself, wander, it just kind of means that you're walking without a goal in mind. You're just kind of wandering around. So a lot of times we will use that preposition after wander, which is around, okay? But here we're using the adverb freely, okay? So it gives you a mental picture that you're kind of just walking without a goal. You're aimlessly walking around.
没有目标地。
没有目标地 or freely, 很自由地, okay? So wander freely in our world. And we have also here able to wander freely. That means they have the ability to, or they have the permission to do something. They're able to wander freely in our world.
所以 able to 其实就有时候有人会说它可以用 can 来代表，意思也是差不多的，就是可能、可以的意思，我们就可以用 be 动词 able to。
Yes, and also that word wander, I want to kind of differentiate that from the other word that we use a lot, which is wonder.
W-O-N-D-E-R.
Okay, I'm sure right now a lot of people are like, what's the difference? I didn't hear a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, wonder, which means to kind of think about, right? Wonder with the O is pronounced wonder. You kind of imagine there's like a number one there, wonder, okay? Here, this is more wander. You open up the space in your mouth with a ah sound, like it's more wander.
Wander.
Okay? I wonder if I wander here, if I'll be safe. Okay, so the first one is the O one. Wonder. I wonder. So you see how that E, right? That
Yes.
one. I wonder if I wander here, if I'll be safe. Okay, so the second one is the word that we see in this sentence, which means to walk around.
所以有那个 O， 有那个像数字一 one 那个发音的那个字，它是想要知道 I wonder。但是如果是游走的话，是我们这一课这个字
Wander. Okay. While the exact dates change from year to year, Ghost Month usually begins in mid-August and ends in mid-September.
所以 while 这边的 while 有点是虽然的意思哦，翻译成虽然。虽然确切日期每年有所不同，因为它是跟着农历走的嘛，对不对？鬼月通常呢开始于8月中，然后在9月中的时候结束。
Here we see change from year to year. That means it's different every year.
Yeah.
So you could also change that, like if it was something that changed every day, you could say it changed from day to day or changed from week to week. So just depending on
Frequency.
how the frequency of that particular action, you can change those words around. Okay, so the exact dates change from year to year, but ghost month usually begins in mid-August. That means it's not always going to be in mid-August until mid-September, but usually it is. Okay? So also, that's a good way to also know that dates will begin, or certain things that have a duration, they begin on a date and they end on a date. So begin and end can be used when you're talking about a time.
老师刚刚说 begin on， 因为 begin on 特定日期，然后 end on 特定日期。但是我们这边用 in， 因为它没有一个特定日期，它只有一个月份嘛，对不对？8月中、9月中，所以我们这边用介系词 in。
That's a really good reminder. A lot of students, when it comes to prepositions,
Oh yeah.
Trust me, they're not easy to learn, but you just have to get used to them. The more you're exposed to them or see them, the more that it'll be easier for you to learn.
习惯就好。
Yes. All right, let's take a short break. With so many spirits wandering around, Ghost Month is considered a dangerous time.
With 就是有着，对不对？所以由于有大量的鬼魂四处游荡，鬼月被视为一段危险的时期。
So here we're using the word spirit, whereas in the previous sentence we used the word ghost.
Ghost.
They mean the same thing when it comes to the Western world. Spirits and ghost are just, these two words are just used interchangeably. Okay? And here we see that word again, wander. So spirits are wandering around. They don't really necessarily have a purpose. They don't have necessarily have a goal. Okay? But during this time when they're wandering around, Ghost Month is considered a dangerous time. So when something is considered to be something or considered something, that means that people think of it to be a dangerous time.
所以这个 consider 这个字呢，就是它是被认为、被视为的意思。但我们也有学过另外一个字叫 considerate， 把 ed 改成 ate， 那就变成形容词，变成很贴心的。
Yeah, that's something to also just memorize.
Yeah,
Yeah,
就是
sometimes.
它没有什么逻辑。
Yeah, sometimes I feel like, well, I guess when you're being considerate, you're thinking for somebody.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're considering something to be something, then you're thinking this is what it should be. Okay.
有这样讲可以。
Yeah, it's still a little bit hard to connect
Directly.
so I understand that it might be a little bit difficult, but you have to play little games like that with yourself to help you remember the meanings of certain words.
Yeah, so is consider 被认为，你一直在想，你认为这件事情，我认为要买一杯咖啡给你才是对的。哦，你真贴心，两个字就串在一起。
That's a really good way to remember. Yes. People tend to be extra careful and take many precautions to prevent misfortune from falling upon them.
哇，这个句子好有那种天使降临的感觉，但是我们是要避免厄运降临哦，所以他们说人们往往会格外谨慎，然后采取预防措施，以避免厄运降临。
So when we say that something tends to be something or tends to do something, that means that this happens more than it doesn't. You know, it happens more. The probability of this happening is more.
倾向于做什么事情？
Yes.
对。
So if I said I tend to talk to many whenever I'm sad, that means that when I'm sad, I usually will talk to many.
就是比较有点 intentionally 的感觉，就是他是有意识的会去特别去做这件事情的感觉。
So people tend to be extra careful. That means that they usually are extra careful, but not necessarily all the time. And then when you take many precautions, what are precautions? They are actions or measures that are taken to prevent bad things from happening. Okay, so kind of like when there's something that causes caution, it's something that will happen before that. It's a precaution. So when you see that prefix pre, it usually means before.
所以看到 pre 这个字首 prefix 就代表说预先，例如像 preview 嘛，预习。那我们看到 caution 这个是 caution caution 其实就是你们应该都有逛过百货公司，它不是有一个那个黄色的板子上面写说哦小心地滑，它上面就会写 caution，就是要特别注意。所以你预先注意的。就是我们中文翻译成预防措施。
Yes. And here we see that verb prevent. That just means to
预防.
Yeah, make sure something that doesn't happen. What are you trying to prevent? What are you trying to not let happen? Misfortune. So if you know the word fortune, that usually means like a lot of money or a lot of luck, right?
或者是运气。
So misfortune is the opposite of that. Like you're missing that fortune, right? So that means that it's bad luck.
厄运。
So you're trying to avoid or not let bad luck happen. And here we see prevent misfortune from doing something. Okay, so that's the preposition we will use when we're trying to say what we're preventing this thing from happening. Okay, they want to prevent what from happening? Misfortune falling upon them. So here we actually are saying falling upon. We also can use the verb happen to. Okay, they're trying to prevent misfortune from happening to them. But here we're just using a different way to say it. It's kind of like misfortune comes from the sky and falls upon you.
Yeah， 它是用一个比较具象的一个片语在讲。老师刚刚说可以用 happen to you，right？ 就是发生在你身上。但如果我们用 falling upon， 感觉好像是一块乌云，然后突然间下雨下在你头顶那种感觉，所以就是降临的意思。
Yeah, I think a lot of times when we talk about fortune, we do use that verb fall, like fall upon. And I think it might be because a lot of people believe like either God or some kind of entity or Lady Luck is watching us from above. And then they want to throw this on top of us, like it's falling on us.
Yeah, we also say like spell 诅咒也是用 fall.
Like fall under a spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
诅咒也是用 fall under.
it's just something that we say in English.
这应该跟文化有关系哦。
I think so too. All right, let's continue. For example, people are advised not to buy a new car or move to a new place during Ghost Month.
所以我们刚刚讲了这么多预防厄运发生，这边要举例子。For example， 我们就在举例，例如一般人会建议人们不要在鬼月买新车或搬新家。
Yes, so when you are advised to do something or advised not to do something, that means that you are suggested not to buy something or to do something. Okay, so that's a good verb to use. You could also use the verb suggest. People are suggested not to buy a new car. So it's kind of like advice with a C, A-D-V-I-C-E
名词
is the noun, and this is the verb form.
对，然后这边 be 动词加 advice， 所以它是一个被动语态，所以人们被建议，are suggested，are advised 都是被动语态。
Yeah, and here we have two things that you're advised not to do. We have not to buy a new car or move to a new place during Ghost Month. So after or, you don't have to say the subject of the sentence again. We know that it's related to the original subject, which is people.
Yeah， 所以它 or 也是对的连接词，跟 and 一样。但 and 通常是指 A 和 B 两者，那 or 的话是二选一，一者就可以。
It is believed that ghosts may haunt the car or house and cause problems.
所以普遍相信鬼魂会 hunt 这个字就是有点像打扰，但我们这边就翻译成出现在新车或者是新房子里面，然后呢 cause problem 引发问题。
Yeah, we usually only use the verb haunt when it has to do with ghosts or spirits. Yeah, you can't really use it when it's like a person. Okay, a
He
person.
haunts me， 好像有人这样讲啊。
Maybe if that person's like their energy is almost like a ghost that follows you, you might be able to use that verb haunt, but usually it has to do with something that is
所
supernatural.
以像鬼屋就叫 haunting house。
Yeah, haunted house.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. For similar reasons, most couples choose not to get married during this time of year.
所以这边的 for similar reason 这个 for 就是出于类似的原因，大多数的情侣会选择不要在此时，也就是鬼月的时候结婚。
All right, so couples are just a way to describe when there's like two people who are together in a relationship. All right, let's take a short break. In addition to postponing important life events, many people avoid participating in potentially dangerous activities.
那除了延后人生大事，就是我们上一段讲的买房、买车、结婚以外呢，许多人也会避免从事具有风险的活动。
So the way that this paragraph is starting, it's a good way to kind of have a reference to the previous paragraph, okay? Because we were talking about important life events and different ways of postponing these important life events. The rest of this sentence is kind of letting us know what this paragraph is going to be about, and is going to be about potentially dangerous activities. So before I let Minnie also describe what I was just talking about, I also want to bring attention to that verb postpone. Okay, that just means to kind of put things off to a later date. Okay, it's not canceling, things, but it's just putting it to a later date, pushing it back to a later date. And also that adverb potentially. Okay, that means that it has the probability of happening. Okay, when something has potential, that's the noun form. That just means that it's something that has the capability of doing something.
那这一句话呢，就是像我刚刚讲过，我们这边上一段讲的人生大事嘛，就是很多搬家、买车或结婚，所以我们这边直接用 important life event， 就是那种你会在你的人生 mark down 说我几年做什么事情的这个以外，那我们就可以很清楚的从这个句子知道，接下来我们要讲的是活动的部分。那老师刚刚有特别指出2个字，第一个字呢叫做 postpone。那它原本呢应该是 postpone， 这边去了 e 加 ing， 这个字其实就是大家一直讲的拖延症。拖延延后，我们就可以用这个字。它不是 cancel， 它不是删除不做了，它只是往后延后做了，有点像是rain check， 就是那种我延后一下，等我可能天气好了，或者是等这一段时间过了，我再拿来做的这种概念。然后另外一个字呢叫做 potentially， 其实原本的字叫 potential， 我们有看过，也就是这个人很有潜力的潜力。但如果我们加了 ly 变成副词，它就变成潜在的。OK， 所以 potentially dangerous 有潜在危险的一些事情，我们鬼月就不要做。
Right. So when you want to do an activity, a lot of times we use that verb participate in. Okay. Participate in an activity. Okay.
或者是 join.
Yes, you can also say join as well. Just a lot of different ways to say the same thing.
没错。
People are told not to go swimming or approach open water because ghosts may try to drown them.
这华人应该都有听过，就是人们会被告诫说，鬼月的时候不要去游泳啊，或者是接近开放的水域，因为鬼魂可能会抓交替，对不对？他会试图将人溺毙。
So told not to do something. Okay, when you are told not to do something, that means that you have someone telling you you can't do this or you can't do that, like your parents.
被动语态。
Yes. So people are telling you not to go swimming. Okay, 不要去游泳. Okay, or approach open water. That means to go towards or go into this place, which is open water. And open water usually talks about a body of water where there isn't a very obvious enclosing like space. Like a lake is not open water because you can see the banks of a lake, or a pond is not open water. But when you can't see the shore, that is open water, and that usually is talking about the sea or the ocean.
所以当我们讲 open water 的话，它就是所谓的开放水域，比较像是海洋这种无边无际，你看不到边际的。那如果是像游泳池啊、像湖泊啊，这个你看得到边际、看得到岸边的，那我们就不叫 open water。
All right, here, drown is being used as a verb, right? So when you drown someone, that means that you're trying to drown them. You're trying to put them underwater and make them die and suffocate underwater. Similarly, people often stay away from mountainous areas at night to prevent running into ghosts.
那同样的，人们也常常会避免晚上靠近山区，那是为了要防范跟鬼魂相遇。
Yes, so stay away from something or stay away from doing something. So you could also have a verb in the ing form after from. That means that you're trying to avoid doing these things, okay? So I'm trying to use that verb that we saw in the first sentence of this paragraph, but stay away from that is also a way to use that meaning as well, okay? And there are 2 words in this sentence that I want to call attention to. The first one is often. And the second one is mountainous. Okay? So often, even though there's a T, we will often pronounce it often, like without the T sound. Okay? And usually when we see the word mountain, we might pronounce it mountain. So basically, whenever there's like a hard T sound in the middle of a word, then we tend not to pronounce it. Okay, not always, and you can pronounce mountain. No one's going to think you're strange. It's just a very common thing for us to kind of leave it out.
然后像 often 那个字，也有人会念 often，也有，所以那个 T 就是一个 hard T， 但是它可以是不发音的，也可以发音发出来。
Yes, and then here we see running into ghosts. You're not really, running into ghosts. You could just, it's another way to say bumping into ghosts. Okay?
也不是真的撞到，它就是遇见的意思。
Yes, okay. For those worried about spirits, placing Asiatic wormwood or sandalwood around the house is believed to keep any unwelcome ghosts away.
所以对于担心魂魄的人来说，有解放哦。据说在家里的四周摆放艾草或者是檀香，可以驱逐不受欢迎的鬼魂。
Right, so it's believed to keep any unwelcome ghosts away. So we don't know if it's necessarily effective, but we believe that it is. Okay, so we believe it keeps these unwelcome ghosts away. So when we say that something is unwelcome, that just means that we don't welcome them. Okay, so hopefully it works because Ghost Month is something to respect, whether or not you believe it 100%. I think in the off chance that it is true, we just need to have respect for everyone and everything.
Yeah, I think we have this month. I think Ghost Month in some country they also call it a humble month.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. 就是有些人会翻译成就是 humble， 就是谦虚。所以这个月就是有点像清明节，对不对？它就是一个比较多鬼魂，只是清明节是你的祖先，然后鬼月是所有泛指所有的鬼魂，不同 dimension 的。那这个 humble month 其实就是让我们更小心，让我们知道这个世界不只有我们，我们要去尊重很多元不一样的人事物地。
Yes. So whether or not you believe in Ghost Month, please be safe during this time, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.